Next, to a mum of 3 from Islington who's been living with a rare form of cancer. Brenda McKenzie is 58, and the cancer she has affects 1 in a million people. It's particularly hard to diagnose as the symptoms are similar to skin conditions like eczema. She needs a stem cell transplant for a chance of life, and she needs more people from black communities to join the donor register for that to happen. Anila Dami has her story.
This is a desperate plea for help. I just want a chance to be able to just live.
Brenda McKenzie wants to stay alive for herself and her 3 children, but she's been told her chance of survival depends on finding a stem cell donor, as the 58-year-old from Islington has a rare blood cancer. How has this diagnosis affected you and your life?
It's very draining because I don't know how I'm going to be from day to day. It changes. So obviously it's a great worry for me because, my chances of survival are very slim unless I get a stem cell match.
There are 3 types of blood cancer, with 1 person diagnosed every 14 minutes in the UK. Brenda was diagnosed with cutaneous T-Lymphoma in 2019. The cancer forms within white blood cells used to help regulate the body's immune system and fight infection. It's so rare, it only affects an average 1 in a million people. She says it's mentally draining for her and her daughters and son, 2 of which recently lost their father.
They're really, really devastated because, it's difficult for them to comprehend what the next step is and where I'm going to be in the future.
In the early stages, it can look like other more common skin conditions like eczema, which can make it difficult to diagnose. It may cause skin changes, including flat red rash-like patches, itchy, sometimes painful areas, and raised patches or lumps, mostly affecting people aged 60 and over, and more common in men than women. Brenda is on stage 4 and has undergone numerous treatments, including radiotherapy. Her future now depends on finding a donor. She's been on the register for 2 years and hasn't found a match, and is feeling the impact of the fact people from black and Asian communities are less likely to donate.
In the black community, we should have the same chances as anybody else, to have, high survival rates for getting a stem cell match, but unfortunately it's quite low. I think it's a lack of trust and obviously probably education as well. A stem cell match is my only chance of survival and a cure.
That was Brenda McKenzie speaking to our reporter Anila Dami. Well, that need for more donors to come forward from black communities is one we return to regularly on this programme. Beverley De-Gale founded the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust in 1996 after her son Daniel was diagnosed with the illness. Daniel died in 2008 at the age of 21, and Beverley joins me now. Well, welcome to you again, Beverley.
Thank you for having me.
The point there that Brenda made at the end, a lack of trust and perhaps a lack of education, is that something you would agree with?
Yes, unfortunately it is. The ACLT was started 27 years ago because of Daniel, and there have been strides forward, but actually those strides are not enough when you consider that for a white British person that needs a stem cell transplant, they have a 72% chance of finding a matching donor. If you are black, mixed race, or from Asian backgrounds, your chances drop to 32%. And so for someone like Brenda, sadly, the odds are stacked against her, but organisations like ACLT, Anthony Nolan, DKMS, and the British Bone Marrow Registry are trying to get those numbers up. But we are faced with lots of hurdles.
You talked about strides there and hurdles. If you take a step back and think of the time since Daniel got ill, how much progress has been made?
Well, when Daniel was diagnosed, we was told that we had 1 in a 250,000 chance of finding a donor for Daniel. And since the ACLT started 27 years ago, we ourselves have found over 150 donors for patients in this country and around the world. So although the numbers are not where we need them to be, donors are being found. But the sad reality is that when people like Brenda are diagnosed as needing matches, she has not found a match. She's been searching 2 years. And so the chances for us to find her donor are slim, but this is what we do. This is why the charity was set up, to stop people going through the heartache of searching for donors and losing their lives. And so we are hoping that through appeals like we are doing right now, that the community will go online and find out how they can be tested to see if they can help Brenda or anyone else like her.
Briefly, is it only appeals, or is there something more substantial that could happen? I know you have received money, haven't you, from the government to help with this?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we do registration drives all the time. Last weekend we held 5 events over the 3 days, and the results from those cheek swabs that we took from people who registered to try and be donors have been sent to the labs, and they are already in the progress of being tested. And it's registration drives like that will help to encourage people to register, social media and word of mouth, people seeing this appeal now on London Tonight and hopefully registering themselves to see if they can help Brenda or someone else.
Beverley, as always, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
And as Beverley just mentioned, you can find more information on this story and how to donate on our website, itv.com/London.